This game incorporates mature themes, including physical violence, suicidal ideation, medication abuse, trauma response, and visual and written depictions of gore. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome back to Up All Night. Ready to stay up? That intro was way more Markiplier than I intended. Oops. My bad. When we last left off, we found something else going on here late at night. Found one bloody mess, a dead deer. We found a second bloody mess with Grayson, which turned out to be her father. And now we found something going on at a nearby cabin. Look at the snow. Clean prints we had followed here led up to the cabin, but coming out. Oh no. Prints were thick with blood. They were so deeply saturated that they were entire frozen pools in their wake, huge droplets scattered in the snow between each gory step. Like the SUV, this car must have been parked here since before the storm. The SUV had a vanity plate that read Hunt RMA, surrounded by a frame with little deer printed all over it. Hunter M.A.? What's that supposed to mean? Hunter Mom? Kinda tacky. Hunter Ma? Go to the cabin door. The door was hanging open, hinges creaking softly at every gust of wind. Felix was eyeing it, looking concerned. You don't have to. He pushed on the door hard enough to send it flying open. The already battered top hinge gave way and the door moaned as it thudded to a lopsided halt against the wall. I gagged its deeply unpleasant metallic tang filled my nose and mouth. I know the smell. It had to have been at least 6 hours since the crash, and the sun was starting to rise. Tyler and Bree lay on either side of me. Each minute of growing daylight was a new torture. Help! I wasn't shouting anymore, just whispering the words every time I thought I heard someone drive by above me on the road. I tried to climb up the embankment a few hours ago, but I couldn't stand my leg. I could feel the bone grinding whenever I tried. It was hugely swollen now, pulsed unpleasantly every time I took a breath, constricted by my jeans. Here much longer. I think it's a utility knife in my glove box. Get to that. I have to climb over Bree to get it. She was lying motionless against the overturned car, her body half crushed under the hood. They had both gone rigid. I could smell something more foul starting to waft from their bodies. Oh my god! What? Am I hearing things? I turned my head towards the road and saw a man standing there with a bike. Hang in there, I'll get help. Help. I'll just stay down here for what? Another hour? Rest of my life? My hands are brown and crusty with dried gore. I stared down at them and said nothing. Felix pulled out a handkerchief and pressed up against his nose and mouth so as to not breathe in the rancid air. Got a spare? Do you have another one of those? Ah, yes, I do. Here. He produced a second cloth from his pocket and handed it to me. It smelled old and dusty, as if it had been kept in the back of a wooden drawer and never used. Still, it was better than breathing in the unfiltered air. Felix stepped inside and I followed close behind him. Oh god. Is that a body? It's hard to tell. It's been so mangled. Hunks of flesh were scattered across the floor. Glad Grayson isn't here to see this. But she's alone now. Now there's more than one body. I don't know who this is. Nobody was renting this cabin out. Alarmed, he swiftly walked over to take a closer look. We'll let him do that for now. The whole cabin was in ruins. Blood arced up in the walls, and there were claw marks gouged into everything. I see an array of pockmarks next to the front door. Something glimmered inside one of them. I picked at it. Metal. It's pretty bashed up, but not bloody. Bullet? I'm glad my mom got stuck down the mountain. The only way this could get worse is if she was here. kind of bear just comes into a cabin and rips everything up like this? While I appreciate your interest in the decor, we have more pressing things to examine. He gestured towards the corpse. Yeah, Felix, I can't imagine why I wouldn't want to look at that right away. Nick sounds like he's running out of patience. I followed Felix over to the corpse. A woman. I can even tell. It's so badly. Then I saw it. A lump of fat sagging across the torn open chest. The ribbons of what must have been a breast. Jesus. I took a step back, taking a deep, shuddering breath. Gah. I dropped the handkerchief that had been handed to me in my panic. Oh God. It fluttered to the floor and landed in a congealing pool of blood. Felix watched it fall, then lazily lifted his eyes to my face. Ah, crap, I just asked for that too. That was monogrammed. A gift from my father, and now it's soiled. Should be more careful with my things. Well, priorities, dude. He turned back to look more closely at the body. Sorry, my bad, I choked at the scent of stale excrement overpowered me. Her intestines hadn't just been ripped out. Whatever had done it had chewed them up, leaving bits of their contents scattered around the corpse. It took everything I had not to vomit. The stench was so thick this close to the body, it was as if it was coating my tongue. I swore I could taste it. Just like with Tyler, his body smelled like that too. Without even looking back at me, Felix pulled out a tin and offered it up. What? Those mints? Put one in your mouth. It should help mask the smell enough for you to stop gagging. Wouldn't do to have you vomiting all over the scene. Or on my shoes, for that matter. Guess it wouldn't hurt. Took a mint out of the offered tin and put it in my mouth. The hands were the most intact thing about the body. A shotgun lay next to the corpse, one of the rigid fingers wrapped in the trigger. Our nails are painted and they look perfect. No chips. It's kind of weird. Shouldn't there have been more of a struggle? I would have thought that would mess up the polish. Bright yellow nail polish. Well, whoever this was certainly didn't have any taste. That's needlessly judgmental. Priorities, Felix. Go on. I don't know. Probably looked pretty good when there was a whole unbutchered person to go with the hands. When there was what? A plaid shirt to go with it. Yeah, because that's the most important thing to look at here. He looked up at me sharply. And smiled? I'm doing it again, aren't I? Whoever this was, they were squatting, and now they are also dead in my very ruined cabin. I know I should be more compassionate, but this place is my life. Look, all I'm saying is that there's a gun right there, a person has been ripped apart, and you're going on about nail polish. Well, I don't think the cause of death was a gunshot wound. Do you? Give a wide, sweeping gesture that encompassed the bloody ruin of the corpse. Yeah, okay, I get it. You love your cabins and one of them is all messed up. Doesn't change the fact that a gun could be helpful. I reached down to pick up the weapon. The mostly severed arm came with it, the final tendons detaching with a snap. A sucking, squelching noise accompanied its rise. The finger was still wrapped around the trigger. Just like Bree. No. I have to keep it together. There are other people counting on me now. Felix, can you pull that off? I stared up at the ceiling trying to think about the swinging arm of the trigger. There was a snap and I looked down. Felix had peeled the finger back. It was so rigid it had cracked when he pulled it off. He threw the arm back on the floor in distaste. You're welcome. Is the weapon of any use? Oh, I don't know. It's a gun. Maybe it can protect us from a crazed murderer or a bear or whatever the hell is going on. You don't know how to use a gun, do you? So, is it loaded? Good point. I checked. It was double-barreled, and there was a single shell loaded in the chamber. One was fired. Feel any safer? Is he mocking me? Yeah, a little. I mean, I can at least try to kill whatever did this before it finishes me off. I wouldn't worry about that. You have me. What the heck is that supposed to mean? Is he planning on judging the bear to death? Alright, well, I'll just keep this as a backup plan. Looked back down at the corpse and could see that there was something in the front pocket of the shirt. The fabric had glued itself to the exposed muscles above the ribcage. Ugh. Putting my gaze, I reached into the pocket. It was sticky with cold blood, but I did find a hard metal cylinder and pulled it out. A second shell. Oh? Suddenly I heard a voice call out from somewhere outside the cabin, along with the crunching of footsteps. Nick! You hear it, Nick? Wait, this car is... and that's blood! I turned toward the door, holding the shotgun loosely in one hand, my bloody fingers clutching the extra shell in the other. Grayson stood in the doorway, a shadowy outline in the growing dusk. Hi! Grayson, you're here! There's been another death. It's that bear. She didn't say anything, just stared. Her eyes went from me to Felix, who had stood up and straightened out his vest, then down to the mangled, faceless corpse. The car. Oh, no. No. She shouldn't be nowhere near here. She's in the city. She ain't never come back up here since. Oh, no. She walked over, each slow step taking an eternity. She froze when she saw the painted nails and started shaking uncontrollably. This is my mom. She said it with detached disbelief, then looked at the shotgun in my hand. That's her gun. I know it. That's hers. Maybe it's not, Grayson. You said your mom was in the city, right? Maybe it's not. It's got a little rose in the stock. Yeah, it does. She looked like she was about to burst into tears, but then a look of deep rage bubbled up on her face. What was you doing, Felix? I saw you around here last night when Why did you do nothing? Felix eyed her and sniffed distastefully. I should ask you the same thing. I saw nothing on my walk last night, and last I checked they were your parents. What were you even doing outside? Uh-oh. Grayson? You were out last night, too? That ain't no one's business. Well, what an absolutely forthright and exonerating statement. Especially since I happen to know that Nick wasn't the only one who had a fight with a parent last night. What's he talking about? Well, you see, when I went by to check on things at the caretaker's house, there was a bit of an argument going on inside. I heard our dear Grayson here say something about how there ain't nothing to do with her to do here, and she's full grown at 18, and how she wished he'd just dropped dead, so she could move on down to the city. The way he mimicked her accent made me wince. Grayson was shaking, fists clenched. Is that true? I don't mean I went and killed him. How do you think I feel, knowing the last thing I ever said to him was that rotten? What did you do when you were out? Just walking around, you know. I was real pissed, so kinda kicked at some snow and rocks, stuff like that. Ran into Felix and he was being right rotten like he is now. Asking about how my mom is when she knows she left. He knows she left. She started shaking uncontrollably again when she mentioned her mom. She must be trying not to think about what's on the floor behind us. Then I sat down to think of one of them cabin porches and must have fallen asleep. Get this sleepwalking thing real bad sometimes. This morning I woke up at home. And you didn't think to question your father's absence. He goes to town all the time. I figured he must have gone before that storm last night. While his daughter was missing. Maybe he didn't know I snuck Maybe he didn't know. I snuck out real good. He could have just left thinking he'd let me cool down. Need a car to be heading anywhere. Wouldn't have been no big deal to leave. A likely story. Nick, you believe me, right? It's odd, but first reaction, I give her the benefit of the doubt because we saw how she reacted when she discovered it was her dad. And it's hard to fake that. Yeah, I believe you. Something weird is going on here, but I think she's told me everything she knows. Felix, Grayson just told us what she did that night. What did you do? Me? I already told you what I did. Think you owe us a little more detail then. I walked around and looked at stuff. That was insolent. Grayson must be rubbing off on you. So what did you do last night? Yeah, what the hell you been up to, Felix? I saw you slinking around. Very well. I went to look around the property, as I do. Quite often. He stood rigidly, his voice clipped and sour, as if this entire thing were a massive waste of his time. I first went to visit Mr. Nash to see if there was anything that needed to be attended to. Thought better of it when I heard his hysterical daughter railing on about wanting to murder him because she couldn't go on a trip. That's not what... Do you want to know what I was up to or not? Grayson mumbled something under her breath but didn't continue to argue. I then decided to check on the patrons staying here, but before I visited any of them I ran into Grayson again, this time sitting in front of a vacant cabin, pouting. Actually, it was this cabin, come to think of it. Huh? What? Grayson was at this cabin last night? Oh, you're right. I guess it was this one. But it must have left before anything happened. There wasn't no car here. Well, I can't speak to anything that happened after I left, but Miss Nash is correct. There was no car here when I came across her. Continued my rounds, or rather I intended to, but ended up waylaid at my first visit. A gentleman staying down the road by the name of Mr. Booker invited me in to talk, which was when the snowstorm hit. He was complaining about bears getting into his garbage. I got stuck there for the duration of the storm. Once it cleared up, instead of heading home right away, I decided to make one more stop. There was a new guest here, and I wished to welcome them. That would be you, Nick. Yeah, you did come to see me. Oh, and one more thing. I ran into Mr. Nash while he was out looking for his daughter. Huh? Why didn't he say that anything earlier? Yeah, you ran into my daddy? It was you. You killed him. Oh, please. If I had, why would I be telling you about this now? No, he was looking for you, and I told him where to find you. Here, at this cabin. He also mentioned something about his wife. I believe he made a call to her about your disappearance before the lines went down. You didn't go with him? Why would I? I want no part in family drama, particularly if it isn't my own. I'll tell you all about my family drama, though. Won't you find it suspicious? Both of them go to where Miss Nash was last night and then turn up dead in the morning. I know I do. That's only because you're telling lies. Your word ain't worth nothing. That's all we gotta go on right now. We have to take you at your word as well. Why should I believe that you left there before this massacre happened? Twisted his lips into a grimace and gestured to the gore-strewn floor. Perhaps you did leave before your mother came back. At least at first. Somebody had to hang that body up. But I know for certain you must have returned. There's a dead woman in here to prove it. How'd you know about my daddy hanging? See, Nick, he must have killed him. I told him. He was helping me while you were... Damn it, Nick. Why'd you go gallivanting off with this snake? He's always been real mean to me. I don't know why I didn't think of it right away when I saw my daddy. He killed him. I know it. I just know it. What about the other guests? Mr. Booker, you said. Felix, is there anyone else up here? Felix shrugged and seemed to dismiss the idea. Nobody is as suspicious as Miss Nash. Miss Lee is here with her 3-year-old son, so I find it hard to believe before she decided to go on a late-night murder spree. Mr. Booker is younger and staying here alone, but he is, not in the best of shape, to put it mildly. Honestly, I thought he was the dead man when you first told me you found a corpse. Finally, there are Mr. and Mrs. Lloyd, a retired couple who drive in from town to go on walks. They became trapped up here because of the storm. I find it a bit ludicrous to suggest some retirees slaughtered a woman with a shotgun and hung a corpse from a tree. Don't you? You thought one of them could have done it earlier tonight. Out of an abundance of caution, Nick. It was also before we found Mrs. Nash butchered in the cabin her daughter was sitting in front of earlier in the night. Someone is definitely responsible for this, and there are so many things that don't add up. I don't know. Something doesn't add up. I think it was either of you. At least, not alone. There's just something that doesn't add up. What, pray tell, doesn't add up about my story? Yeah, what the heck's wrong with mine? Look, I need to get some air so I can think. Can we not talk in here with the, yeah. Can we just not talk in here? Felix shrugged and Grace invisibly relaxed. It was obvious she was trying not to look over at the mutilated corpse. After the stale scent of death in the cabin, the outside air was a welcome escape. You could see the faint glow of the moon behind the mountains. Soon everything would be bathed in its light. I was still holding the gun, running my fingers nervously along the stock. I hope I don't need this. Now, would you care to enlighten us, Nick? What brilliant realization have you come to? I wouldn't say it's brilliant, but... Felix, how did you know I'd had an argument with my mom? I heard you on the phone when I came to visit you, Nick. You know that. No, that's not possible, because my mom called just as the storm hit. Oh, yeah. You didn't come by until later. And if you were outside close enough to hear, then why didn't you see what cut the line? I stopped by before the storm, but decided not to bother you during your call. I left before anything happened to your line, and I most certainly visited Mr. Booker. Sure, maybe you did. Maybe you cut the phone line first. Weird how you thought I might need help so badly that you came to my door again in the middle of the night. Felix, why'd you go cutting the phone line? And you know what? All the other lines were cut too. My house phone didn't work neither when I tried to call my daddy in town this morning. You do that, Felix? Don't be daft. How could I? Think you were very surprised to learn that Mr. Nash was murdered either. I saw Grayson when she found that body. Leave her. She didn't know it was her dad until that hood came off. I thought you said I didn't do this. Yet all I've heard are accusations. Here's something else. Grayson, I think you killed your mother. Whoa. What? Nick? I held my hand to stop her protests. It's gonna sound crazy, but Grayson, I think you're a werewolf. Whoa. Nick, why are you saying such a crazy thing like that to me? That don't make any sense. So you've suspected too? I turned and glared at Felix. I don't think you suspected anything, Felix. I think you knew already. No werewolf would hang that body up. He was bitten, but none of those bites looked fatal. I think Grayson's dad was still alive when you found him. He told you what attacked him. Then you killed him. That can't be a werewolf, Nick. That's crazy talk. Listen, Grayson, you told me you sleepwalk, right? Does it always happen at night? When the moon is full? Like it was last night? I don't know about a full moon, but of course it's night. Actually, Nick, I, I don't remember the last time I'd seen a full moon. I nodded. That would certainly explain why your dad won't let you go live in the city. As he knew too, didn't he? If you turned last night, then we wouldn't have to worry for another month, right? It's only one night you sleepwalk? She looked alarmed. No, Nick. It's 3. My heart jumped in my throat. Looked at the sky. The moon had not yet crested the mountain. And last night was... His voice shrank down to a whisper. Last night was the first. Oh. The girl is right. It's usually 3 nights. The night before, the night of, the night after the full moon. So you did know. Felix sniffed and stared me dead in the eyes, a look of deep offense on his face. I know a great many things. For example, I know that Mr. and Mrs. Nash lied to me about their daughter when they accepted this job. You see, I did find out Grayson was a werewolf, but I did not discover that fact until last night after she transformed. Mr. Nash. So he was alive when you met him. Was until I found out he was a liar tainted by a werewolf's bite. After that, I may have become a bit upset. You killed him! You hung him! Yes, I did. I may have also, moved his leg. I needed bait, and I had to work with the tools available. A fitting end for him, given the problems he caused me. I do apologize for involving you in that drama, Nick. It wasn't my intention. I should have encouraged you to stay in your cabin today. This was my mess to clean up, not yours. Why would you? Why wouldn't I? You were wandering about my property, looking for someone to eat. Your father told your mother you'd gotten out. She did the most sensible thing a parent could. She came up here to try to put you out of your misery. A pity she failed, even after I lured you all the way to her, with your father's leg as bait. Well, can't even imagine how she felt, having her own daughter rip her to pieces like that. She made a pretty good attempt at killing you. Missed, unfortunately for her. Maybe her heart got in the way after all. Did cause a nice bit of damage to my cabin, well, the wall though. And you just absolutely ruined the floors when you ripped her up. A look of intense anger crossed his face. I still can't believe they had the gall to build an iron cage in the basement of my old family home. Offer them a place to stay, and they had the audacity to rip it apart. Also, they could keep their mutt daughter as a pet. I think it was that confession that made me lose my temper. Lie to me. Endanger my guests. Drill holes into the walls of my family history. Example had to be made. He deserved nothing but humiliation for the disrespect he showed me. Nobody deserves to die like that, Felix. Nobody. Mom tried to. Cage? In the basement? I don't remember no cage. But they didn't never want me going down there. You finally see it, don't you? This whole thing is your fault. Grayson. You ripped his clothes off after you. You're a monster. Felix grinned, his eyes narrowed to wicked slits. Oh, he's got shark teeth. He's got shark teeth now. That's not good. I know, but so are you, Miss Nash. Nick, too, based on what's rattling around inside that traumatized little skull of his. We're all monsters here. You're just the most pathetic one. A werewolf in denial. We're all monsters. Is he just a killer? Or is he... Felix, what are you? You aren't human either, are you? No. No, I'm not. I'm what you might call a vampire. That explains family history. But the morning. I saw you in the morning. He winced and almost looked embarrassed. was overcast, nothing bright enough to kill me. I have to admit, though, something about you has made me reckless. Wanted to see you again, enough to risk a bit of a burn. Me? Why? I'm not special. I think you are. Grayson sees it too. I'm not the only one who has been following you around. Now, if you want to get out of here alive, I'd suggest staying close. The girl here is about to turn. Oh God. I turned to face Grayson, locking eyes with her. He begged me for help, you know. He was still alive. Wanted me to finish you off. Said it was the only way to save you. Your mother thought so too. That's why she brought the gun. Grayson, you didn't kill your dad and he lured you to your mom. It isn't your fault. If you are about to change, but I think you can control it. Oh, I don't know about all that. She really did an excellent job tearing her mother to pieces. And the father, he was most certainly already a dead man who hadn't quite finished with the dying part yet when I found him. Best case scenario for him was being cursed for the rest of his miserable life. So much for control. I did a mercy kill, and you know all about that sort of thing, don't you, Nick? I could hear Tyler moaning, something closer to an inhuman gurgle than actual words. Bree's arm touched my face as I lay curled around the torn limb. I didn't mean for anything to happen. But you did this on purpose. Well, looks like we have two monsters in denial. Disappointed in you, Nick. I thought at least you. Strangely, he actually did look confused, as if he'd expected me to agree with him. Why the hell would I side with you? It's a shame, I thought that maybe. But never mind. If you want to go get yourself killed by siding with that mindless beast, your choice. If you change your mind once you see the truth, I may still save you, if you ask nicely. The only one not worth keeping around is you. She snarled at Felix, fists clenched at her sides. And if I'm a monster like you say, I'll be going down with you. You do right by me, Nick, you hear? If I turn into that thing like y'all are saying, you best be finishing me off. Grayson, you don't need to. Don't you break my resolve now. Done with deciding. It's gotta be stopped, and I'm the gal to do it. Oh boy, she lunged, taking a swipe at Felix. The clouds parted and she froze, every muscle in her body locking up. Uh-oh. Moon hung full and luminous overhead. She looked over at me. There was a mixture of fear and determination on her face. So it is true. I can feel it. Nick. Mom's gun. I'll get him, but you do right by me, you hear? You do right. Oh. Back arched forward and started bulging out, arms twisting and ripping through her clothes. Her flesh tearing and repairing as it tried to keep up with the transformation of the muscle, sinew, and bone underneath. Felix tensed up, body elongating, bat-like ears sprouting from his head, claws extending from his fingers. You can try to kill me with you little mongrel, but you'll see. I'm so much more than you'll ever be. I have control. Grayson was past the point of caring about his insults. Her body was growing larger with every passing moment. It was ripping and tearing as her clothes no longer fit her. I scrambled back, still clutching the gun. 2 shells. I had 2 shells. She wants me to shoot her. I don't know if I... Monstrous beast stood where Grayson had been just seconds before. Beast howled, deep and guttural and full of rage. Not even a glance back at my direction, she charged towards Felix. Oh! Felix moved like liquid to avoid her, slipping by the first powerful swing of her claws and raking his own talons down her back. A flap of fur peeled back, exposing flexing muscle and the white bone of the werewolf's shoulder blades. Then moments began to knit back together again. Nick slid to a stop and looked back. I saw his glowing eyes widen in shock at the repairing injury. Damn you. I can deal with this. I just have to be quicker. Flew to left and right, dodging each slow, vengeful swing from the werewolf. Used his razor-like talons like needles, poking and piercing when he couldn't find a wide enough opening to fully slice. The snow was turning into red, froth under Grayson's feet as it became saturated with her blood. One of her swipes tore across his front, and dark blood oozed from the wound. He hissed like a feral cat. You'll see. You are nothing. A nasty little mutt. Went in for a final blow that looked like it would take her head clean off. Turned away, afraid to see him succeed. Crunch. Ooh. Jaws. Then Grayson. She looked back and Felix's head was clutched in her mouth. Felix had taken a chunk out of the side of her neck, and not severed her head. He went all in. Lost. Ooh. There's a creaking and splintering sound like wood being compressed. Is that skull being crushed? He tried to kick himself free, rending scratches all across the werewolf's face. Nothing would stop her. He locked eyes with me. He's afraid. He's really afraid. That moment he looked like how I had felt that night of the accident. I had the sudden crazy urge to go to him. I wanted to tell him it would all be okay, even though I knew it was a lie. Nick, I wish we could have. What he wished for, I never knew. Ooh! The moment his head burst outward in a spray of black ichor, it spattered the snow and surrounding trees. His headless body thumped to the ground, twitching fingers and clawing at the snow. It was as if he were reaching out towards me. Werewolf stumbled and fell to the ground, whining and panting. Wounds were knitting back together before my eyes. Gun, this is my chance. If I don't do it now. I can't shoot her. She's Grayson. I know I can convince her to leave. I walked cautiously over, making sure to stay in her line of sight the whole time. Grayson, it's me. It's Nick. You're probably confused, but you need to go. Trust me. Run to the woods. I'll come find you tomorrow. Wounds were almost healed now. She was getting up, shaking her great lupine head. I think she's gonna do it. Yes, I can save her. She'll be angry with me for not listening, but she won't be dead. So I just head out to the woods. Oh, God. One smooth motion, she lunged and lashed her mouth around my throat. She shook me from side to side, and with a ripping sound, I went flying. I still see the front of my throat hanging as the limp husk of flesh clutched in her jaws. She didn't listen. No, that was me. I didn't listen. She sniffed at Felix's discarded body and turned away in the distance. With a great lumbering stride, she came over to me as I gurgled and gasped. The snow around me bloomed with red. My vision went black. I heard her start tearing into my body. Wet chewing sounds filled my ears as everything crumbled into oblivion. Grayson, I'm so sorry. Bad end. You had one job. The Oh, you had one job. Shoot her! Shoot her! It's a dead end. There's a lot of dead endings. I wonder how many of these are actual endings. How many of these are dead endings? That title's red now. Shoot! I took careful aim and walked up behind her. I could see the pulsing of her heart under an exposed rib. The surrounding muscle was already knitting back together. A final gift from Felix. I pulled the trigger. Ah! A mournful whimper cut the air and it made my heart break. Oh, Jesus. Grayson, I'm sorry. I had to. The silver buckshot hissed and sizzled, refusing to heal, bedding deep within her beating heart. Turned away, unable to watch my friend die by my own hands. Killed every friend I ever had. Tyler, Bree, now Grayson. And you did right by me, just like you promised. Turned around and she was there, small and trembling in the snow. Magic that had transformed her was still struggling to repair the damage I had done. Took a jerking, shuddering breath. Pulled my jacket off and draped it over the great gaping hole in her chest. Yeah, I did, Grayson. What if I could have? I never wanted to hurt nobody, but I did. You did right. And don't you go thinking you did. Alex deserved what he got, but he ain't wrong about getting rid of me. Should have had a bullet in my head the minute I got bit. Grayson! No. I know we just met, but I'm glad, okay? Glad I met you. It's my fault you're like... Shh. I know you like feeling bad for yourself, but I don't want to talk about that. It's the last thing. What if you want? We'll talk about whatever you want. Okay. What do you think my favorite big city thing would have been? Stood there for a moment and thought. Hiking, maybe? A low, rattling laugh. Oh, come on, I've been hiking my whole damn life. That ain't a big city thing. Shit, sorry, that was kind of dumb, huh? Took me a moment to realize I was smiling. How could you make me smile at a time like this? Want something you can only do in a city. For her? She's loud, likes adventure, but also likes being around as many people as possible. Or probably an amusement park. One of the ones with big coasters. I'm not a fan, but I bet you'd love that. Would I go with you and your friends? Yeah. I think Bree and Tyler would have been a great part of the crew. Maybe we all could have gotten into the same college and would have asked Bree out. Yeah. We'd stay up all late studying, and we'd all go out and get and take out food and stuff. Maybe I'd buy it for everyone. Oh. And party on the weekends. Going to what's them places with the flashy lights and dancing. A club? Oh, a nightmare for me. Yeah. Gotta be some boy or gal or something. Maybe you. Yet you have your other friend, right? Bree, you said. Well, I don't know if that was ever gonna work. Never asked. Would have totally gone on a date with you if I was single. I mean, if you wanted to. I'd totally be your wingman if I weren't. Yeah, you're cool. You were a good person. I've never been to a club, but going with you guys would have been fun. Grayson smiled. Yeah, that sounds nice. Nick, I can't feel nothing no more. I think it's soon. Listen, that stuff. Just because your friends ain't around for it, you still need to do it. You gotta keep doing. I can't just leave everyone behind. I didn't say anything like that. I want you thinking of us having the best damn time. I can't. Her lips had gone blue as she started shaking. Promise. Okay, I promise. I promise. Just, why does it always have to be this way? Why can't I be the one to go this time? She didn't answer me. Instead, she lay there, silent and cold. Final magic holding her together dispelled as the last of her life ebbed away. The walk back to the cabin felt as if it took no time at all, but also an eternity. Inside, everything was calm. I turned on the lights, packed up all my things, lit a fire in the fireplace before sitting on the couch. Did it all slowly, trying to avoid the inevitable time where there was nothing else to do. The moment I sat down, their faces started to creep into the back of my head. Bree motionless beneath her car, hand limp and open as I tried to grab her. Tyler groaning into the night, his face a caricature of what it had been in life. Phoenix reaching out towards me, the wish he had that I would never know. Grayson bloody and smiling even as she slipped away. And a promise. Promised that was the last thing she ever heard. I should have saved her. I should have saved all of them. Can I just go and join them? Why can't I just leave too? No, keep it together. I have to try. I have to. Anyway, I'm sure she'll be able to meet them. Oh. I think maybe it would be like... Oh, the gang. Hey man, it's been a while. You have a good trip? Oh, why didn't you invite me? I've always wanted to go to a winter cabin getaway. Huh. You were just too embarrassed to ask. See, look, he's blushing. Seriously though, man. We could have had a party. Meet anyone else cool up there? You know we could have had a party. My mom rented that cabin. Yeah, but she lets us hang out. Would've been fine. Gotta work hard to play hard, yeah? And I'm in some serious need of some play hard. That last volleyball match really took it out of me. The college team's a lot tougher than high school was. Oh, Bree. He's not saying who he met. Bet it was a girl. You have competition. Oh no, I hope not. Next I just have to date you, Tyler. I'm be your linebacker to Nick's quarterback. What a downgrade. Only teasing. We're dating? Yeah, you asked me out at the graduation party 4 months ago. I gotta say, you're losing some boyfriend points for not inviting me along for your cabin adventure. You did meet a girl then? Think she'd hit it off with Tyler? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I did. And maybe? Let me just introduce you. Guys, this is Grayson. Hey, yo, nice to meet you. Looking good. Oh my god, Nick, I lied. Tyler, you don't stand a chance in hell. Nick, I'm dumping you and she's gonna be my girlfriend now. So awesome. Look at those cute little shorts. You're too much. I'm thinking I like all this hanging out talk. Nick was saying something about a beach? Maybe one of the amusement parks? Something about coasters? Oh yeah, amusement park. We can do that. It's been forever since I've been on any of those big crazy rides. Nick never wants to go. I just realized you were striking a pose, her hands on Nick's face. Squish. I'll go. Oh wow, he must like you, Grayson. He hates roller coasters. Probably suggested the beach, right? He always likes going to the beach. Nick is right. The beach is superior in every way to an amusement park. A night bonfire on the beach. I think that would be ideal. Felix, you're melting. Whoa, where did this guy come from? Meet more than just Grayson up there, Nick? Yeah, I did. This is Felix. He's kinda uptight, but he's okay. He's uptight, he's got some weird sensibilities, and he likes to overshare about his family, but he's alright. What Nick means that I don't care for the frivolity of these roller coasters. Talking by a fire is better. If that makes me uptight, then guilty as charged. Felix, you are going on all the upside-down roller coasters. Nick, I think you met someone who's more of a stick in the mud than you are. I am not a stick in the mud, thank you. I don't know, Felix. You know, there's more to living than working. Someone has to make sure the cabins are running properly. That's supposed to be my dad's job, you know? Take a break. You own the cabins, Felix? Maybe we really can have a party up there sometime. Very well. I think I can make accommodations. That's not what we're doing today. So which is it? The beach or the amusement park? Hell yeah, winter vacation, here we come. But for today, we're doing the amusement park. Nick's paying too. What? There's no way I'm paying for all of you. I wanted to go to the beach. You're paying for me too? This is the best day ever. New friends and a free day at the park. You're too much. Look, maybe I'll get food, but I'm not buying the tickets. Well, Nick, I think we're outvoted. But you know, that's not always a bad thing. You're right, Felix. I guess it's not. Let's go. Yeah, like that. Even him. I think he would have been like that. If he wasn't a vampire. We all could have been friends. Grayson, you look so happy there. I heard the sound of tires on snow. A moment later, my mom walked in, shivering from the cold. I'm finally back. I knew that a few-hour outing would end up being over a day. And the phone's going out. I think I spent the whole time having a heart attack. Hey, Mom. She rushed over to me. Are you okay? Did you have any nightmares? I left you alone for so long. Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I've been thinking, Mom. I couldn't have saved them, and I wish it was different, but it's not. She wrapped her arms around me. Oh, Nick, you don't have to think about that if you don't want to. No, it's important. What I'm trying to say is, I, I didn't die. I'm still here. And I owe it to them to keep living, right? Not just thinking about the last time I saw them. Not just dreaming about how they died. I want to think about who they were, who they would have been. I want to live the life we all could have had together. For them. I breathed in deeply. This next part felt like ash in my mouth, but I had to say it. And for myself. It's the hardest part. You're amazing for even trying. Baby, you're amazing. I laughed. I could see the full moon hanging bright and heavy in the sky through the window. I'm not amazing, Mom. I'm just the one who's still alive. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to dream about their futures. Do it for them. If I hadn't made it that night, and they had, I would have wanted them to dream about mine. Oh. Last man standing. True ending? True ending. Aww. Yep, the title is no longer... It's no longer red. There's more to see here. There's the gang. Nick. Grayson. And Felix, he can come too. He's alright. I wonder. This certainly feels like true ending. In that it's the one where Nick finally overcomes the trauma that's been haunting him all this time. And learns to live with himself, with them, learns to live for them. But there's a lot more to see, it seems like. Quite a lot to see. 2, 5, 6, 7. So there's definitely going to be another video in this series. This is not the end yet. Even though it definitely feels thematically like this is the true ending. We're going to go through, see what we can do. See how things could have gone wrong. Because I love bad end hunting. I love it, honestly. Interesting to see the stories that get written and how much they can branch. How badly things can go wrong. It's dark of me talking about that now, and we just had a really sad but uplifting ending here. This title theme is getting really unsettling, so we're gonna go give us a happier pose, a happier image to end off on. Yeah, Grayson. If only things could have been different. I could say, this really is a game that took place in the course of about a little over a day in game time. And that time, it is safe to say that Grayson and Nick were friends. Even though we literally just met her. based on how long she's been up here by herself, it's not hard for me to believe that she'd instantly say, hey, dude my age, come with me. Let's go look at some cool shit. Here's a dead deer. We're friends now. We're friends now, don't fight it. Just sort of instantly befriended. And she's got that powerful energy that could definitely win anyone over. I like her. God, that was sad, though. That was sad. Even going out in the net, trying to... We did right by her. She's trying to do right by Nick as a friend. That's one of the things I wanted. One of the things I could try and do is just see how it would play out. To get Nick to open up to Grayson earlier about his trauma. Oh yeah, it's some sneaky supernatural elements in this story, wasn't it? I did not see Felix being a vampire coming, but that does explain a lot about him, ultimately. An 18-year-old inheriting and running Mountain Lodge on his own. On the surface, it seemed really questionable. Like, what? What happened here, dude? But the way he explained it actually made a lot of, to some degree, made enough sense to be plausible. Like, I could have accepted that as just the explanation. And yet somehow, as soon as he gave me the teeth, and he admitted it, it was just, oh... Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. And God, I'm not sure what... Definitely feels like that choice at the end would we could side with Grayson or Felix. Personally. That then we got the third option. I'm not sure what happened decision-wise that triggered that third option. What got me on the true end path, at least. Not sure. I suppose we'll find out more next time. When we start running through everything to try and get the rest of the bad endings. But... Hey! First time! True end path, first time blind. Hell yeah. We did it. Trauma resolution speedrun. Help Nick grow and live on. And hopefully piece together a happier life. Live for them. Meet new people, make new friends, but never forget them. Live his best life for the memory of the friends that he lost. High five, Grayson. On that note, we'll sign off for now. When we return, we'll get back into how things could have gone wrong. Up all night. Until then, thanks for watching.